everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, it took quite a while for the U.S. economy to recover from the crash in 2008. We were deep in the hole, millions of jobs lost, people lost their homes, their life savings, everything. But with steady leadership, the Obama administration did turn the economy around. It should not have taken as long as it did, but the Republicans in Congress did everything they could to slow the economic recovery. Obama proposed an infrastructure program to create jobs and pump money into the economy, repair bridges, roads, the electrical grid, our water system, all of which desperately needed it. But the Republicans blocked it. We now know that the Republicans had several meetings in which they decided that they would resist everything Obama wanted to do, especially things that might do the economy good, because they knew that if they could slow down the recovery, Obama would get the blame for it. They're now proposing their own infrastructure program. Why is it a good idea now and it wasn't then? Remember the debt ceiling fights? Every time that deadline approached and nothing was done, economic growth would stall. They even closed down the government, which cost the economy billions of dollars per day. And the strategy worked. The Republicans got control of the House, the Senate, and they now own the White House. But despite all of this sabotage, the economy did recover, and by the 2016 elections, millions of jobs had been created, unemployment was below 5%, and wages were rising a little bit. Not as much as they should, but the rich don't like to share their money, and they make the decisions about who gets paid what. If you want to raise wages, you start with raising the minimum wage. That puts upward pressure on everybody's wages. You don't wait for the rich to decide to raise wages out of the kindness of their hearts. But the economy has continued to do well. And of course, Donald Trump wants to take credit for it. But the trends were already heading up before he got into the White House. So basically, the economy just kept going in the direction that it was already heading. Now, Donald Trump has done things that will eventually affect the economy. The Republican tax plan will have an impact on the economy, but I don't think it's going to have the impact that they want it to. The rich will get more money. The GOP tax cuts are designed specifically to benefit the rich at the expense of the rest of us and the budget deficit. But that money that goes to the rich is being basically taken out of the economy. They're not going to do anything with it. They're not going to change their spending habits. They're certainly not going to share it with us. So basically it'll sit in their bank accounts and do nothing. How this is going to create growth, nobody knows. And Trump takes pride in talking about all of the regulations that he has ended, but deregulation was the reason for the economic meltdown that happened in 2008. And many of the regulations that were put in place were to prevent another economic collapse. If you deregulate the banks, they cheat people. They sucker them into loans they can't pay. They take terrible risks with your money. They make investments that will make them money, but put your money at risk. When you deregulate the oil companies, they cut corners. They operate recklessly. They ignore safety measures and fail to maintain their infrastructure and equipment. And those failures result in disastrous accidents. And those accidents don't really hurt their profits that much. They've got great lobbyists, and they've managed to put limits on how much responsibility they take for the accidents they cause. But they do affect other businesses. For example, the Gulf oil spill did massive damage to the tourist industry in the Gulf states. And the fishing industry was decimated by the Gulf oil spill. Big oil is one of the few businesses that can drive people out of business who have nothing to do with their industry. And the banks, well, the banks can drive everybody out of business. So everything Trump has done will eventually affect the economy, and not in a good way. We just won't know how much damage he's done until a few years go by. Thanks for listening.